So unless you're living under a rock, I'm sure you know by now that there's a lot of uncertainties in the animation industry. There's bad news flying left and right, fear mongering, even from people that are respected in the industry saying different kind of stuffs. And it looks like it's just bad news galore. And people are scared of their jobs, they're scared of AI replacing them, and many have lost their jobs, many have not been able to secure any animation gig in years. If you fall into that category, or maybe you are a student or somebody who is interested in entering into the animation industry, I believe you need to watch this video before you give up on your art career. Now, I don't know everything, but I do know some things because I've been a professional in the industry for some time, and I have done some research on my own, and I'm willing to share those insights as much as I can, everything that I know. But then also, I am open to your insights and your thoughts. If you have any comments, please leave them in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about the industry and how we can navigate it forward together. These are really hard times and uncertain times, and we can all help each other. We can all lean on each other for help and support as we navigate our way through the industry right now. So let's talk about adaptation. Adaptation is very important for us humans because we are wired to be able to adapt. We are wired to be able to figure out things and solve problems as they present themselves to us. And right now, we are faced with a difficult time in the animation industry. So, how do we adapt to what's going on? First of all, if you are one of those people out there who think that, you just want to create your art and you don't care about how you go about creating it, that's great. But you have to adapt because you may become extinct in a very little while. So, let's look at students first of all. I have been fortunate enough to mentor and teach people over my career. I have trained probably up to 200 people in the course of my career, and some of them have been from different parts of the world. I was fortunate enough to do that through Rise Up Animation. And one thing that I've seen is that many people are scared because they don't know exactly what to do with their career and to make that choice. Some people are thinking, do I drop out? Do I continue my education? So before you consider something major like that, whether you want to drop out or not, I would say that you should evaluate yourself and be honest with yourself. So, how do you learn? What is your learning process like? Are you the type of person that finds it difficult to follow routine on your own? If that is the case, then you probably need a college degree because the university environment or the college environment will help you to stay disciplined because you'll be given like different assignments and different classwork and examination and all of that. And under that umbrella of a structured institution, it's much easier for you to be able to follow the routine as opposed to you figuring out on your own. But if you're the type of person that can be self-taught, you can figure things out on your own, you have a curious mind, and you don't necessarily need to work under those strict conditions to be able to fulfill and achieve your goals, then maybe you need to be self-taught and it's okay for you to drop out of the university or don't even bother going in the first place because I am someone who was self-taught in quotes. I usually don't like the term self-taught because no one is self-taught. We still learn from someone else. The reality is that studios and employers out there don't really care about degrees. I've been fortunate enough to work for top studios and they didn't require any degree from me to work for them. At the end of the day, it's your work being able to speak for you, especially as an artist. So I'm only speaking to artists, right? Because if you are an engineer, a lawyer, or a doctor, you probably go through a different route. You definitely, most likely, need some sort of certification to be able to work in those industries. But as an artist, your work speaks for you, and that's really what counts at the end of the day. So for you to get employed is basically your work speaking for you, your portfolio. The whole idea of a college degree is not necessarily for you to be able to use that degree to get hired, at a studio. The whole idea is for you to be able to learn as much as possible in a controlled environment with experts and various peers that you can lean on to assist you on that journey, to be able to help you to narrow, fine tune, and improve your skills to the point where you are marketable and employable. The second thing I would say about adaptation is for you to get a full-time job. Now, many people may not want to do this, and it could mean throwing in the towel, but I do not think so. You have bills to pay. You are a human being living on this earth, and if you are a human being, unless you're a ghost, you need to pay your bills, you need to pay rent, you need to eat, you need to feed yourself. And for you to do that, you need money. So, in order for you to be able to survive out there in the world, why not get a job? And then you get a full-time job. A full-time job could be anything from working, as a waiter, to acquiring some additional skill in a different industry, just so that you can be able to secure a decent wage. And then while doing that, you can carve out some spare time for you to be able to spend some time nurturing your art, part time. So you're doing the full time stuff, and then part time you're developing your art. Maybe if you do a 9 to 5, for example, you can spend 7 to 9 just before you go to bed studying your art, which is 2 hours. 2 hours is not bad. If you spend 2 hours every day consistently over a year, I believe that, especially if you're intentional about your study process, I believe that you'll definitely see improvement in your art. And you never know, if you improve to the point where you're comfortable with the way your art looks, you're comfortable with how well you have improved over time, then you can be able to give up that job and go apply for an art job, or apply for an art job first before you give up that job, because that's probably a bad idea. You don't want to give up the job and then end up being jobless. You want to first of all apply for an art job, and once you secure the art job, then you can let go of this other one. So the third thing that I'll talk about is build a community. Building a community is extremely important, especially in the age that we are in, which is the golden age for content creation. In the age we are in right now, content creation has been heavily democratized. Now it's no longer about celebrity status. Anybody can become a celebrity. You don't have to be a known name. You don't have to know anybody. You can put out your unique content and be known and seen and heard by people from all around the world. With platforms like TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and all of that, you can do anything. You can reach anybody in the world. The world has become a lot smaller right now because of social media. So why not take advantage of it? Build your own community. And when I say build your community, I don't mean it in a nefarious way or in a way to use people. I mean genuinely serve these people. Show people stuff that they need to see. Take that one thing that is unique to you as an artist and tell a story about it, and make sure that it is as authentic as possible, and just keep building upon that over time, and be consistent as you put this stuff out. Be consistent, and over time it will definitely pay off. So yes, building a community is extremely important, and that's one way you can adapt to the difficult times we are in. To add to building the community is the need for you to be able to solicit some sort of financial assistance from your community, as long as you are preferring value to them. So people do stuff like gifting on TikTok, and these things help them to be able to support themselves. Even on YouTube as well, when people do live videos, they're able to solicit support from their community and all. As long as you are providing value to them, it's okay for you to solicit some sort of assistance to them. And you can also monetize the value that you're offering to them if you wish. And these community people are humans, so they would understand when you do these things, and they know that you need that financial assistance and will be willing to support you as you go. The fourth thing I would say is become a creator. Now, becoming a creator is very important, and I will spend some time explaining what I mean. Become a creator in the age that we are in. Besides the fact that you are building your own community, of course, for you to be able to have a community means you are definitely creating something, right? But when I say become a creator, I'm saying take it to the next level. Create an intellectual property, a franchise as an artist. So I'm speaking to artists in animation, right? And I believe that people in illustration, people who do illustrations, digital artists who do illustrations and comics can also glean from this information as well. Become a creator. Take some time to do research and learn how to develop your own intellectual property so that you own your own stuff and you are putting your own stuff out to your community. Over time, this intellectual property you have created will have gained some momentum and gathered some mileage, and you can be able to commoditize that and package that together if you want to sell it out or license it to a studio, or if you want to pitch it to a studio, then it has value within itself. So I'll advise that you start to look into the direction of becoming a creator. I'm sure that if you were honest with yourself, you can definitely say that you have ideas that you've always thought about. You have story ideas that you always thought about that you wanted to make. Now is the time for you to actually go dust those books, collect all those information inside of them, see how you can weave as many of them together and come up with a very interesting story. Make sure that your story is unique as possible, especially with respect to your culture or your experience as a human being. Because if you are just creating something because you want to copy what is successful out there, people can see that from 1,000 miles. So you want to make sure that you stand out, and to be able to stand out, you have to find what is unique to you and what you find interesting and what will showcase your own originality so that your own story shines forth through it. I will do a separate video on how to be able to create interesting intellectual properties. Finally, the fifth way we can adapt is to create AI tools. Now, this may not be something you want to hear because I just want to create my art. That's how artists like to talk. I just want to create my art. I don't care about any other thing out there. But then you have to think about how to adapt. And I don't want to be having to repeat myself over and over again, which is the essence of this video anyway. But you have to be able to take advantage of the times that we are in. AI is so pervasive right now that companies like Nvidia are hemorrhaging a lot of money in the stock market because of AI. So AI is not going anywhere, at least in the next couple of years, and we have to take advantage of it. So because you are an artist like me and every other artist out there, you understand our pain points, you understand what it means to be able to create real solutions for artists. So instead of following the route of the Midjourneys, the Stable Diffusions, and all these various platforms, I don't know their names because I don't use them, but instead of being like them, why not approach AI from a different perspective, understanding who the users are? So you can create tools for fellow artists because you are an artist, and then these tools, of course, these tools are going to be ethically compliant because you are an artist and you understand that you're not trying to create something to scrape stuff out there without people's permission. You are you are solving a real problem for fellow artists like yourself. So this might have to require you going to take a course on programming or coding or being able to write a program, a software, which is very difficult, by the way. But if that's something that you are interested in, which is not too far-fetched, I think you should explore that option as well, because we artists will always constantly be looking for ways to be able to use technology to make our lives easier. So why not take advantage of that opportunity and start creating tools, AI tools that are ethically compliant for we artists to be able to buy. So before you quit your artistic career, think about all these things I've said, take some time, ponder on them, and I hope that you'll be able to make the right decision going forward. It's okay if you want to give up your art career. It's okay if you don't want to. It's your choice at the end of the day. But I hope that with this point you'll be able to make a more informed decision on what you want to do going forward. If you have any thoughts, please don't forget to leave your comments in the comment section below. Like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you in the next video.